Have you ever tried learning MicroPython using the Raspberry Pi Pico? Or have you tried teaching the MicroPython to the students or to kids? So there is one problem that you always faced before even trying the Raspberry Pi Pico for the first time, that you have to install the thonny IDE in order to program this Raspberry Pi Pico. And again, it will add another 10 to 15 minutes of time to get started with the Raspberry Pi Pico. So I got the solution for this to program the Raspberry Pi Pico in MicroPython easiest possible way. Okay, now let's have a look of a MicroLab on the browser itself. So let's just connect the Raspberry Pi Pico and let's see the quick demo. So I have connected the Raspberry Pi Pico and now I'll be just clicking here connect on my platform. I'll just click on connect and then click on this device and then click on connect once again. So you can see it says connected to Raspberry Pi Pico, device is connected, you can see the green dot. Now let's just write the basic code blinking the onboard LED for 5 times. So I'll click on run now. Can you see? I'm successfully able to blink the onboard LED on the Raspberry Pi Pico from the web browser itself. So let's just see more features of this platform. A really quick contest. Raspberry Pi Pico is really a good microcontroller in order to learn about MicroPython, or I can say Python. So you can interface a lot of sensors, actuators and all those things and learn Python specifically and very easily. And no doubt, thonny IDE is the best IDE to get started with the MicroPython. It's a de facto for MicroPython to learn using the thonny IDE. But I do not want it to have that friction like installing the thonny IDE, configuring. Also the main important objective I have built the MicroLab for, which is how the student can able to blink the onboard LED on the Raspberry Pi Pico under 60 seconds. So that is the main objective that I've given. Let's understand the features that I have added on this platform. So I'll walk you through each features. So what I'll do, I will open this website. What I will do, I will open this website inside the incognito tab so that you will get what you will see when you click on the first time. So I'll just open the incognito tab and I'll search for getmicrolab.com. As soon as you clicked on getmicrolab.com, you will get the welcome message, which is welcome to MicroLab, and code MicroPython on your Raspberry Pi Pico directly from your browser and all. Okay. Now, you can take a 60-second tour of this platform or you can skip it. So I'll just take this 60-second tour. So you can see from here, you can connect the Raspberry Pi Pico. And here I have added the basic examples, right? I told you that on the Arduino for MicroPython, or you can say Arduino Lab for MicroPython, doesn't have all those features. That if someone wants to get started with the basic Python code, they'll go to the ChatGPT and write the code and paste it here. So I have removed that. So here are the basic examples. You can click on any of the examples. Then we have local workspace. That means if you want to save your project on your local folder, you can click on mount local folder and you can add that. We will look each and every feature in detail as well. Now next we'll have this Pico file system where we can have the files from the Pico. Next we have this is the tab where we can create multiple tabs of, like, suppose you wanted to add one more code, then you can click on plus and the new tab will open. Then here's the run button, and then we have the terminal section where we can see all the data coming from the Raspberry Pi Pico, and then we have the pinout section. That is the most important feature that I've added, where you can see the pinouts of the Raspberry Pi Pico. We will see that in detail as well, don't worry. Okay, so that is the tour of this platform. Now let's see each feature in detail. So first we will connect the Raspberry Pi Pico. So I'll just click on connect and I'll just click on connect here. Now suppose those who doesn't know how to install the MicroPython firmware on the Raspberry Pi Pico, then you cannot see your board over here. Then how to solve this problem? So I have given the step-by-step information that how to install the MicroPython firmware on the Raspberry Pi Pico. If you click here on this down arrow, you will see set up a new Pico. Now here you will get two options, that Raspberry Pi Pico have two versions. One is with Wi-Fi and one is without Wi-Fi. So currently I am using Raspberry Pi Pico, that is not the Pico W. So I'll click on this and then click next. So here can you see I have given the steps how to install the Raspberry Pi Pico, how to install the firmware on the Pico. So here are the steps that you have to follow, and then click next. And also you can go to the page of Pi Pico firmware. So here you will get the latest firmware of the Pi Pico. So I have added everything for the new user to understand and get started with the Pi Pico. Okay, so now once you have done with uploading the firmware, you can connect your board and get start with it. Now here on the left hand side you can see that I have added the examples. So when someone wants to get started with easily, so I have added the basic examples. Like if you want to say hello, so just click on the code and here you will also see the code. Then click on load into editor. You will see your code here. Now I'll click on run. As soon as you see the code is running, you can see hello from Raspberry Pi Pico. MicroPython is running from your board, running on your board. Can you see that? That's how it's working. So same way, you can add any code. So suppose now if you want to blink the onboard LED, click on that and click on load into editor. The new file will open. Can you see there are two files now opened? So you can click on blink. So can you see that this LED is blinked now? So that's how we can add all these basic codes and get started in under 60 seconds. Now I have sensor code. So we know that the Pi Pico have internal temperature sensor. So I'll connect here and I'll just load in, I'll click on load into editor. Now can you see the code is loaded, and now I'll just click on run. Now you can see the temperature. The chip temperature you can see now. I'll just connect my, I'll just put my finger on it and you can see. So that's how you can see and read the temperature of this chip, and the temperature sensor is on board on the Raspberry Pi Pico. So I have added the multiple basic examples like potentiometer 1, light sensor 1, ultrasonic sensor 1, and I also added the display, which is you can use the NeoPixel LED, you can use NeoPixel Rainbow, OLED LED, and the 7-segment display as well. So these are the basic codes that I've already given so that any newbie can get started with the MicroPython. Okay. Now suppose you want to store the files on your local computer. What you have to do is you have to click on mount local folder. Let's click on mount local folder. And then I have already created one folder on the desktop which is Python files or something like that. Let me see. I do have the folder, or we can just create a test folder, test, and just click on create, and then I'll select it here. You have to click on allow. Now can you see that we have connected the local folder which is on the desktop, and now we can start creating the files on it. So you just have to give the name. I can give the name as new test.py and click on create file. Okay, so now we have created the file on our local storage. Now what we can do, I'll write the simple print and I'll just type in quotation hello, and I can just run this code and you can see the code is running. Now what you wanted to do is you want to transfer this code from local storage to the files on the Pico. So these are all the files or the code is saved on the Pico's file system. Now I can just click on this buy and I can delete this file from Pico itself. Like I can delete all those files from Pico as well. So these are the basic codes that I've created just to test the platform. Now I can transfer this like this as well by drag and drop. So you can see copied newest.py to the Pico. You can see this file is get copied here. Can you see? So that's how we can copy the files. Okay. From local workspace to the PyPico's files. So or you can do the reverse as well. Suppose you want to take this high file to the local workspace, like that you can do. So you can see this is got copied here. So that is the two file system that we have here. One is local workspace and one is files on the Pico itself. Okay. Now whenever we know that we wanted to upload the code on the PyPico, this is the most important topic. We have to make sure that file name should be main.py. So these are all the codes which are present inside the Raspberry Pi Pico, but whenever you connect this Pi Pico to the battery, I can show you right now as well. Once I connect this for the first time, you can see it started blinking. And why it's blinking? Because the main.py file has that code. So whenever you wanted to run this on a battery, then the code which is inside the main.py will always run. So that means in case of Arduino, how do we do it? We upload the code by clicking on upload button. But here you just have to add a file by renaming it main.py. If you open the code inside the main.py, and you can see this is the blinking code that I've added for 10 times. So that code is here inside the main.py. Now that we understood about local workspace and file on PyPico, let's understand few more features. I've just got you a really interesting feature for all of you, which is that whenever you wanted to understand which pin we use for which purpose, or I can say the GPIO pin, how many analog pins we have. So I'll click on this pinout section, and here you can see the pinout of Raspberry Pi Pico. So take your mouse pointer and hover on any pin. You will get to see what is the use of that pin and what is the name of that pin as well. And also you will get the basic code to use in the code editor. So that's a cool feature. I really liked it. You do not have to open the datasheet every time to see the pinout of the Pi Pico. You just go to the platform itself, click on pinout, and you can see that. So there are also here features. You can see what are the PWM pins that we have, what are the I2C pins that you have, what are the SPI pins that you have, what are EDC pins that you have. There are only 3 analog pins we have, GP28, GP27 and GP26. And how to use it? Here is the code. Here you will get the code. Can you see? You can copy this code. And if you are not able to see this, you can zoom it as well. Like that. So that's a really interesting feature. I really liked it a lot. Do comment that what improvement you want in this particular platform. Okay. So I hope you understood this feature, which is pinout feature. Okay. Now on the bottom, you can see there is a terminal section where you will find all the data that is given by PyPico. Right now we have just seen the example where we are able to see the temperature data. I can load this sensor data, I can load this code, and I can run this code. So you can able to see the data of the temperature sensor in terminal section. You can copy this, and you can do a lot of other things as well. You can clear the data and all those things. Okay. There is one more interesting feature. We can have a plot, which is serial plotter as well. So we can use serial plot to plot the graphs of the temperature or any other things or any other sensor data. So I have added this feature as well, which is serial plotter. Now the most important thing that I've added here is, suppose I want to create one new file and I'll just write a wrong code, which is I'll write print A. Now I'll just run this code. Once you run this code, can you see that I have given the error message? the MicroPython doesn't know about A. This usually means you used a variable before assigning it, right? So I have given you the hint how to solve the problems. I have added this thing. Also, you can copy this error message as well and put it in wherever you wanted to put and solve this. Just click on dismiss. So that is again the interesting feature where you can easily understand what is wrong in your code. Okay. Now, let's understand the basic things that I've added here. If you click on setting icon, let me open this. If you click on setting icon, then you can change the font size. If you click on 16, 18, you can see now at the back end, the font is changed now. So I can keep it as 14, and also you can change the tab width. It's an indentation. You can make it 4. So there are people who like 2 tabs, and there are people who like 4 indentation, like 4 space indentation. Now you can change the font size in the terminal as well. So here is the terminal font size. You can change that as well. So this is the terminal font size. Okay. Now, so these are the 2 features. I haven't tested yet, but I'll test it whether it works properly or not. I am adding all those features as well. Here you can see the keyboard shortcuts that you can use while using this platform. Okay. Now again, at the last, this is the version 1.1 and built by me. So I hope you got a little idea about how to get started quickly with the Pi Pico using MicroLab.com. So that's a MicroLab web-based IDE for all of you guys. I hope you found it very useful. If you like the video, do subscribe the channel, and if you have any suggestion for me, you can add in the comment section.